pests are a little bit more, and also Cadaghi seeds.
Okay.
Pros and cons of Cadaghi seeds.
Yep. Starting with the pests, I think the two that you hear about a lot is the surfeit fly and the small hive beetle. Now, to me, if your hive's well set up and mature, good defences, they're not going to be a problem for you. They're like vultures. They're looking for weak hives. They're looking for hives where something's gone wrong. If a hive's hasn't been able to requeen, it's getting weaker and weaker, the defences are down, those things will have a crack at those hives, you end up with maggots, and people think, oh, the fly's destroyed my hive, or the beetle's destroyed my hive. Whereas the hive was already in trouble. It probably couldn't requeen, or it had a bit of a meltdown from a heat wave, very vulnerable, and they are like vultures. The forward fly are a different proposition. They are the toughest things to deal with when they are around. They seem to single out a hive if you've got multiple hives, and they will really pour into that hive if they get a chance. I'm finding that the really mature hives, nearly full, more than 50% full, don't seem to have the space for the forward flies to have their rest at night. But your smaller rescues, small reduction hives, that type of thing, they seem to pick those hives and they've got space they can get in. A couple of different techniques for dealing with them. The one that I think is probably the most effective when you're not completely overrun is to, I get the Perspex viewing panel, we take that off, we put a piece of timber on the top. I'll put it in the shed, wait till it's dark. They seem to rest up in the top of the box, and I can just lift that lid because it's not screwed down or anything, and I'll just spaddle the forward fly, put it down, give her another hour, get them up. Might do that 2 nights in a row, 3 nights in a row, and if you've only got like a dozen in there or less, you'll get them. If you're completely overrun, sometimes they just swarm into your hive. They just overwhelm it. I'm afraid it's got no future. You can do all the trapping, everything you like. It's just too many. I'm afraid the hive's got to be destroyed. Because if you leave them and you keep on trying to fight them, the risk is that your other hives are going to be the next target. They'll build up their numbers. I just won't risk other hives succumbing to them.
And Cadaghi seed?
Cadaghi seed, I haven't got any around here, so it's fortunate, but I do have hives at my brother's place, and it's Cadaghi trees everywhere. They're over at Kippering. What I do there is I split my hives in early September. My first splits are over there because I want those, the empty bottom, empty top halves to be as full as possible when the Cadaghi seeds are around. The bees will fill up spaces in empty boxes, rescues and eductions, again with space in them. The bees just can pour those seeds, they store them, but they put them inside the box and they're using up volume you'd rather have your bees using. So it's a timing issue for me in those environments. In terms of them piling up on the doorstep, you see it all the time. I just get a paint scraper and scrape them off, they're fine with it. Small holes, I'm just a little bit worried about that when you've got that sort of build-up of Cadaghi seeds. Haven't found the melting point issue that I know some people do believe is there, and just haven't experienced, haven't seen it, so I'm not really a believer of that.
So really it's in the area of being a plus rather than a negative?
Yeah, well, it's interesting when you get a little bit of Cadaghi seed and they line in an induction box, how quickly the mother hive will then say, oh, this is pretty good, all set up, but you just don't want too much of the damn stuff.